as always. And I can see we're having some already.
Good start.
Great start. So again, welcome from Katie Malik Interiors. I'm Katie.
I'm Joe.
And we're welcoming you again with a live conversations that we suspended for a couple of months, I think.
Yeah, it's been very busy.
It's been a very busy period for us. We have lots to share, so we're hoping to connect with you every Thursday now, provided Joe is going to participate with me. It's my partner in crime. So yes, lots to share. We're actually broadcasting from our new studio. Our first shelf is still empty, but it's gonna get filled for sure very, very soon. We have some of our awards already on the upper shelf. It's just the lower one we need to fill. But anyway.
I think in future, once we've settled in completely, we should do a live
yes.
video and show you all the studio.
Why not? Definitely.
It's very bijou, but perfectly formed.
Great. Yeah, that's actually a nice word. I haven't heard that. So today we'd like to start with a couple of things, couple of announcements, and then we'd like to talk to you about open plans, full stop. Because we've been designing quite a lot of open plans. We constantly get requests for open plans, and with that kind of number of open plan designs, we feel like we have a lot to contribute, a lot to share.
Yeah.
So first thing is that we are relaunching, restarting interior design courses. We suspended them for a couple of years, and now we're opening our own courses. They're going to be run from the studio, so in a very intimate setting, just to give the learners the maximum exposure and the maximum time learning. So rather in very big groups, which usually are about 10 plus, we want to form very, very small groups, about 4 people. So that should give any participant a lot more out of the day. So the last Saturday of March, we're launching with the introductory course. That's going to be for everyone who wants to kind of get started on designing their spaces with mood boards, with sample boards, understanding what different styles, understanding what their style is, and starting to preparing to design really. The good news is that because they're going to be run from the studio, everyone will have access to the library, to the samples, so there will be definitely a lot more things to play with and to explore.
Yay!
And after that, we're hoping to run the courses on a more regular basis, but our intention is to offer more specialized courses. So apart from just general introductory courses, have ones devoted to particular spaces in the house. So for example, bedrooms, how to design bedrooms. So if anyone struggles with designing their bedroom, there will be a course devoted to that. How to design living rooms, and so on and so forth. And a long term, we also would like to offer courses to people who are kind of more into the subject and want to learn more, for example, about kitchens and bathrooms. That's going to take a lot longer than one day introductory course, but this is what we're kind of hoping to offer in the future.
Gives a good taste, doesn't it?
Exactly, yeah. And you have to start from the basics, from the foundations. So we're hoping to start with that, and then kind of narrow it down and hope to inspire a lot of people. We've recently participated in a really interesting podcast organized by KBB Review about designing kitchens for entertainment, which is a very interesting subject. So thank you, Andrew Davis, for having me, and also Daniela from Onesta. Sorry, just for a second. from Onesta Kitchens in Battersea to host the podcast. Because we spoke about entertainment kitchens, obviously we touched on the topic of open plans, and like I've mentioned, we have a lot to contribute to the subject because of the sheer number of designs that we're handling open plans.
Yes,
um,
many.
yeah, very many, and we have a lot of inquiries coming, and they're all about the same, pretty much this, not the same, but pretty much the same um, idea. Open plan. I want an open plan, um, rather than I want a separate dining room, a separate kitchen, and a separate living room. We'd like to start from a project we worked on last year that's going to be actually implemented very, very soon. The project is starting literally in a couple of days.
Yeah.
So very excited. We're really looking forward to it being completed. It was quite a fast turnaround, actually.
It was. It was very clear from the brief what the
Yes,
client
we had an
wanted.
amazing brief. So
Yes.
one thing, thank you, Joe, for mentioning that. One thing that we always stress to everyone who wants to work with an interior designer, but also for themselves,
Yeah.
it's really important to know what you want, and be very, very, very clear about the style that you want in your space, things that you like, things that you will need in your space. So it's important to think about those things before. Of course, we can help you extract those things
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
But yeah, having an amazing brief really, really helps. So thank you, Melanie.
Yes. And also having the clarity that Melanie, our client, had about how she wanted to use the spaces within that open plan.
Yes.
And that made it really easy because we knew that we had
Oops.
to we had to zone it to fulfill all the requirements of her brief, which made that much easier for us.
Yes, it's made such a tremendous difference. So we were able to offer something that fulfills the brief and the expectations, and hopefully exceeds them a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Yes, we just wanted to share what we've come across. We're not able to flip the camera just yet, so please bear with us while we're having,
as per usual, we're having technical issues.
Exactly.
But we can be forgiven because we're moved into a new office, so
yeah, we're still
we're lucky we got the computers going.
Figure out, yes, yeah, after them, yeah, migrating data and files for like the whole of Sunday, but that's fine. We're here. We're working. Yeah. We're operational.
Yes.
We're gonna do it from an iPad. We're gonna basically show you the visuals. Some of you who have been following us on Instagram and Facebook will probably be familiar with some of those. But we just want to come back because we've never had a chance to actually talk about them in great detail, apart from the posts and what we've been putting out there on Instagram and Facebook. So here it comes.
So this is the first visual of the open plan kitchen that we've designed for our client. And that shows the visual from the back of the kitchen facing through the dining area and towards a beautiful piece of bespoke joinery that we're having built.
Yeah,
which is there. Yeah, the group. Yeah, and that is one of the things that they really, really wanted, was to still allow the children. They have two young children. They still wanted the children to be able to use the space and play in the space, but at the end of the day, they wanted it to be an entertaining room.
Exactly. Yeah.
So they wanted to be able to, the children to be able to store stuff in an elegant way. So Katie came up with this ingenious idea to make a beautiful piece of joinery that looks like a library with lovely cabinets underneath, but actually stores a beautiful shelf for a doll's house and toys and all the doll's house paraphernalia. So that was something that that was one of the parts of the brief that actually I think worked out really well, because you know, that's an issue. We spoke to a client today about children in an open plan space, and how do you let them be children and still be able
Yeah,
to store things away and not have just baskets of toys or toys all over the
exactly.
floor.
Which tends to be the case. Like you have all these different baskets from, from random places
Yes,
and very random units just to be able to accommodate that.
yes.
We actually also design a joinery. Thank you, Joe.
Okay, your arms are getting sore, aren't they?
Joinery for clients' house for a playroom. Completely different project, but that was also one of the things that client wanted. Just get rid of the clutter, so it looks like a piece of joinery, not just a basket with different children toys and
Yes.
stuff. So
And this one here, just to point out where how we've opened this up is in this area here where you see the radiator. That was where the wall was going across,
still
and
is.
still is, yeah, still
Not
is.
for
Oh
long.
God, yeah, this is a visual.
Not for long.
So you're not for long, just a few more days. But and then there was a door through from the kitchen into the dining area, and both spaces were quite small feeling
Yeah,
and
pretty
quite
enclosed.
closed in
Yeah,
feeling. And as you
yeah,
can see, I think it speaks for itself right there. How spacious it looks and how open and light.
exactly.
The light has probably doubled.
And that's just the opposite view.
Yeah,
So basically, you just oh, I think yeah. Oh, so this one is a version in gray because at some point we also had a bit of a struggle in terms of color, like
yes,
gray or
yes,
green.
grey or green. And I think
Exactly.
we settled on grey.
Gray. Yes, we settled on gray.
Settled
Yeah.
on grey,
Hmm.
and the part of the brief was that the client loved color, and she loved the colors of nature, and so we kind of try to introduce as much color but still keep it very elegant.
Yeah, we can
So
just do
can
like
you,
a
I
close
don't know if
up.
you can see, so we've obviously got the it's called, the name of the yellow paint is called Mean Mustard, and it's just a
Very mean.
beautiful, beautiful, rich mustard color. And
Yes.
then the lower cabinets are a very on trend navy blue, and then the upper cupboards are a sort of beautiful sort of
It's
grey,
warm gray.
warmy
It's
grey,
called
yeah,
cashmere.
cashmere, yes.
Really lovely color. Yeah.
So we really mixed it up, and so I think that really explained how we were going to use the color in the space in big ways, not in tiny ways.
Mm.
And I think that instead of actually bringing the room in, it really opens it up.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's part of the brief. The other thing I think that the client wanted is she wanted to be able, they wanted to be able to entertain and have a room where more people could sit. At the time, or now, there's only four that can really sit comfortably around their dining
Yes.
table in the
That
dining
was a
room.
very big part of the brief.
So we found a table that on day-to-day basis would sit at least six people, but it also expands till 8 to 10 people, I
Yes.
believe. So
Yeah.
so on a Sunday, every Sunday, the whole family can come round and have a lovely lunch in a big space. So that was one of the brief points that we fulfilled, I think, quite
Yeah.
well there.
Another thing that maybe it's worth pointing out is that these clients initially they considered an extension,
Oh,
and
good point. Yeah.
basically what we
Let
thank
me
you
hold it for you for a little
uh,
while.
what we've done, we've come in and we said, okay, let us have a look whether actually having an extension is going to be beneficial, truly beneficial for what you're trying to achieve. And as it turned out, we managed to achieve the open plan without having necessarily to extend. So
No.
sometimes extension, and this is a piece of advice for everyone who's considering extension, not all the time, but sometimes you can avoid it by just kind of relocating the areas.
Yes.
And maybe if
Oh,
I can find, I think it's this way. If I can find one visual, sorry. that shows a little bit into, there we go. So basically that space that you see here, something's wrong with my brain. So that's that's the study area, study desk area, or little craft area. So this spot that you see here, with the fridge kind of sticking out, this is where the current wall is into the playroom. So basically there's this little tiny room in the front, small playroom, that just basically hosts toys.
Yes.
And takes up so much space, valuable space. So what we've done, what we're going to do, knocked all that through to create that, basically enlarge the kitchen space first of all, and also create that, little nook for some crafts, for office. So
and for
that
homework.
was missing. That's currently missing in the current plan, the ground floor plan. So it's all like chopped. So we're removing 2 walls, and just by removing those 2 walls, we're able to achieve an open plan without having to extend.
Yeah.
That still does everything that the clients want.
Yeah. And even though the children at this moment are quite small, this kitchen, the client wanted it to grow with the children. So
yeah.
So the fact that she wanted everybody to be able to be in one room, so the children can do their homework while the client cooks. And another big thing. Can we just move back to there?
Mm-hmm.
So what they like to do as a family is they like to bake together.
That's a big thing.
Yeah. So
yeah.
And it was a dream to have an island. And we tried everything we could, but in the end we ended up with a sort of peninsula island coming off the side. And we put a wood block there so that pastry can be rolled out, and that baking can be done. And we've also put a pop-up electrical point, so all the mixers and everything can be plugged in right there.
It's important to think about those little details when you're planning the space, really. So we thought about all the little details to fulfill the brief. So we're really looking forward to this being installed.
Yes.
And you can see another thing. I'm trying to point here, but actually I want to point here. You see that bookcase. So basically that bookcase is going to act as a partition. So this is where the current door is to the space. So what we've done is we didn't block the light coming through the hallway. So the light is going to still bounce from the back of the property inside the hallway, but we're going to direct the flow into the space. So where the current entrance is to the playroom, this is going to be the main entrance to that area. And of course there's another door into the living room, so that could be accessed from both sides. But instead of losing that space or blocking it completely, we just kind of created this shelving. It's a very shallow shelving, but it adds a point of interest, and it's still
really beautiful.
It still is very functional, but lets the light through. So sometimes it's about finding the solutions to the existing space and rethinking. Okay, it's a doorway, but does it have to be a doorway? Is there a better way to access the space?
Yeah.
From that point, and can that be a point of interest? You can see that the colors we've used. My God, the colors we've used obviously kind of connect. So there's a lovely green tweed on the bar stools. We've taken some of the colors of the existing client's unit and matched them with some darker green, just to complement everything and create like a cohesive color scheme.
Yeah.
So that's what we've done for this family.
Yeah.
And we want to talk to you about another project, which I don't think we spoke about. It's our first project in the US, so maybe we've mentioned it actually.
I think we did actually once before.
We might.
It's another open plan space, so that's why we're sharing it today. And the client wanted they kind of had an eclectic boho vibe that they wanted to go with, And so that was a lot of fun, wasn't it? Because
Yeah, it
we
was.
could really go crazy
Yeah,
with the furnishings
we
and
went
fittings.
crazy.
We went crazy.
But yeah, we're really, really happy with it, and the clients are also they're gonna start implementing very, very
Yeah,
soon.
another one on the go.
Yes. So anyway, let's have a look. You might have seen this photo if you're following us on Instagram. So this is the visual of this open space. Now, um, where I would start from is that the current kitchen, because there is a kitchen, is basically from
That pillar.
that pillar into into where we drew a dining room, and basically from that point to that wall where the extractor is a really weird partition. It's
Yes.
like a glass partition.
Yeah.
I think
A
it's
little
glass
bit Art
partition.
Nouveau, art
Exactly.
etching all over it.
Which is completely not in keeping with the style of the
No.
house. It's just, with all due respect, I don't know who put it there. So first of all, when you walk into the space, sorry for my honesty, you basically
Tell them how it is, Katie.
walking into the dining room, and you have this weird partition that is completely out of place, and then you have the kitchen. So the kitchen effectively is quite dark. It also
It
has
is.
quite dark cabinets. So this is a beautiful house with plenty of light.
Oh, it's stunning.
Bouncing from the front, from the back.
Yeah.
But it's not well zoned. So what we did, we created even more of an open plan. Get rid of the partition, enlarge the kitchen. There is a kitchen island, but because it's in the middle, it's between spaces, it's really, really weird. So we're removing all of that. We're creating this lovely, lovely open plan, but obviously with zones. And you can't see it quite here, but just behind the island, we've decided to use large format pattern tiles, which also help zoning that area. So that's one thing that we always keep in mind is the zones. So depending on the brief that we have, depending on what we need to create, we can define the zones differently. So it could be change the direction of the flooring, different color, lights, different finishes. So there are many ways,
Collections of furniture too.
Yeah, in which we can use to help zone an open plan. Because a lot of clients have this, they want open plan, but at the same time they have this concern about, well, how am I gonna use the space? It's gonna be too open. I'm gonna feel lost. It's not gonna be cozy. It's not gonna be homely. It doesn't have to be. You can see this visual. It's very, very homely and very warm. Of course, it's because of the colors as well and the materials that we've used, but a lot of it is to do with zoning and not leaving anything empty, but at the same time not trying to fill the space too much.
Exactly. And with the open plan, all open plans, it's the flow of the room's really important, but making them to be rooms within rooms without any walls, basically, aren't they?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I would
Yeah, that's
describe
well
it.
said,
Like
yeah.
sort of so you're zoning with collections of furniture and different uses for each space, so making it clear what that's part of the space is being used for, and then flowing all the way between. And this one in particular, because I think with when you lose walls, you can lose a bit of storage and things like that.
Yeah, but
places
no.
to put. But this one you don't, because you created
Yeah, we actually
it,
added
you?
quite a lot of storage.
Yes, and have you got any more pictures?
Yes, I think.
So we could show them the lovely.
Yeah, I think there's the other one here.
Yeah.
That one shows the other side.
So you can see again, really colourful. Yeah, that's it. And this is the other side. So if you were standing on the other side towards the end of the room, this is the sitting area, and then just
something's wrong with my balance.
You think? Yeah, it's the opposite. And
Sorry,
that lovely the green area is a storage bench, and then as you're coming in through the front door, there's a cupboard which will hold coats, and above and below shoes
Yeah,
and hats and scarves and everything. So it's all really, again, all put away. Nobody would know it was there.
exactly. And also that bench could function as a reading nook. I mean, I know that
Yeah.
our client is pretty excited about potentially, reading her book on a weekend there. Um, so what was the other thing that we wanted to add to that? Is there anything that we
Just that
haven't
it's
spoken about?
beautiful and
It is.
and we've added the wood burner and I mean it really it's a massive space that, but it looks so comfy and
Cozy,
cozy, doesn't
exactly.
it? So
So
hopefully that's what you can achieve.
precisely. And today we had a very interesting meeting with a potential client, um, who's actually raised those concerns, right?
Yes.
About, oh, I want an open plan because I need a bigger kitchen. This kitchen is too small. We don't fit here anymore with what we want. She also loves cooking. She loves baking. She actually told us she keeps some of her baking stuff in the bedroom.
In her wardrobe, because there's no space in the kitchen.
That is really sad, but
It is.
sometimes it's a reality
Yeah.
that we don't have the space, so we try to
No.
migrate and use some of
We
the stuff that we
Yeah.
really need somewhere else, which
Yeah.
shouldn't be the case because, in fact, you should have an allocated space for everything, and that only comes with planning. And whether you're able to do this planning yourself or whether you think you might need professional help, that's another
Yes.
question.
Yeah.
But don't be scared of open plans
No.
because as long as they're cleverly planned, there's no risk
No.
of having a new space, having a space that feels cold, having
No.
a space that is not cozy enough for your family,
Yeah.
for you. But it's worth definitely considering maybe getting some help.
Yeah.
Um,
Another massive consideration, just one other thing for the space, to zone the spaces, but also to make it feel cozy and not too wide open, is using the lighting in the right way, designing the lighting.
we would
so
have to
that
have a separate talk about that.
it's a massive topic, but I think that it's really important in an open plan space.
Definitely, because sometimes what you see or what we see in many places, many homes, is that the lighting is kind of the afterthought. So it's not really thought through, and it should be. So the way we do it, once we decide on the space layout, this is when we do the lighting, so we know what to lit, how to lit, and also we collaborate with lighting designers as well to help us. Wonderful Ellie from EG Studio, who, for example, helped us with the lighting for It's So Travel. And yeah, having just that help and having someone to plan it for you so you don't have to worry about the consequences of your wrong decisions later on.
Yeah.
No, they're not always. We see some beautiful places as well. It's just that it's just a matter of whether you feel confident enough to do it yourself, and that's that. So I think that's sorry, the phones are keep on ringing.
That's a good thing.
So I think, is there anything else that we wanted to talk about? I'm looking at the list. No, I think we're fine. We're having actually a blackboard in the studio, very fancy.
We'll show you soon.
To put some ideas down for our live videos and everything else. So yes, thank you very much for watching us. We will try to be more regular. Like I said, we'll try to do it every Thursday now, every Thursday evening. If Joe, of course, agrees to participate.
I will.
And we'll be talking to you about different things. We've also, gosh, I forgot to put it on the board, Joe. We've launched a new website.
Yes.
So have a look.
Yeah, please go and have a look. It's beautiful.
Let us know what you think. The website has been created by HC Media. Many thanks, Chris, Sophie, Joe. Thank you so much. The guys have done an amazing job, and we're just so happy with the results. We'll probably be tweaking it because we have what is it called? OCD. Yeah, I think obsessive compulsive disorders when it comes to space. And
you are a
like
perfectionist,
and
but that's a good thing in the line of work you're in.
Thanks, Jill.
Okay.
Yeah, that's I came out. I'm a perfectionist. So, Anya, thank you so much. Yes, thank you.
Oh,
We're
you
we're
too,
we're glad
Anya.
we're glad to share. You know, we love sharing. We just didn't have enough time recently to be having those fun conversations every 30 minutes. Was really precious.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, we'll be definitely connecting with you more. So follow us on Instagram. Oh, another thing, I keep on forgetting things, and then I was like, oh, it comes to my head. We have been chosen as one of the top 10 designers in Cambridgeshire to follow on Instagram. So if you don't follow us on Instagram yet, please give us a follow. Spread the love.
Please
Um,
do.
and yeah, and thank you again, and we'll connect with you next week.
Bye.
Bye.